Hi, this is Glenn Gay from G Squared Interactive, and this is episode 19 of SEO from the Front Lines. It's been a bit since my last episode. We had the November core update rollout, then the site reputation abuse manual actions rolled out. So I've been really busy between all of that going on. But I just published my latest blog post, and I wanted to cover it here today. So the post is titled Find Your Subdomains, Know Your Subdomains. The SEO importance of finding all subdomains for your site. So although this might sound obvious, I've run into this situation a lot over the years. I actually just had it happen twice with two newish clients where basically they're large scale and complex sites. And, as I start to dig into a site and do an initial crawl, scan GSC, do a manual audit of the site, sometimes I come across subdomains and sometimes many of them. And then I inevitably ask the question, how long have those subdomains been active and are they needed? And sometimes I get the response, wait, which subdomains? So sometimes clients have no idea that's going on. They're there. They could be legacy subdomains, could be hacked, could contain spam, could contain malware and other security problems. And all of that can cause problems from an SEO standpoint or a Google Ads standpoint. I'll cover that in a minute. So first of all, from a quality perspective, because I know a lot of people are going to ask that question, which is, wow, so if there's some subdomain and it gets impacted, let's say there's spam on it, or lower quality content, maybe it's super old and not very good, how's that going to impact the core site that we have on the www subdomain? So I covered this in my post about site-wide signals, which is to Google for Google's algorithms, especially site-level quality algorithms. Google typically handles that at the hostname level, right? So that's at the subdomain level. This is why you can often see some subdomains surge and others drop during the same exact update. They're actually evaluated differently from a quality perspective. So that's actually good news. If you do have subdomains that you find and there's like a whole slew of really bad content there, you would still obviously want to clean it up. But I just wanted to cover that quickly. Here's a quick example of exactly what I was saying. This was the September 2022 update, broad core update. You could see two subdomains absolutely get hammered and tank while one surges, right? So this can definitely happen, especially on larger scale sites where there may be a number of subdomains with a lot of content on each one. They could be evaluated differently from a quality perspective. The other thing that I kind of mentioned before is there could be security problems, which can be really bad, right? So imagine you have, malware on some rogue subdomain that you don't even know about. And then suddenly all of your Google ads get suspended, right? So I wrote a post on Search Engine Land years ago about that happening to a larger scale client of mine where just based on their technical setup, they had many, many subdomains that were being set up. They didn't have control over them. Malware hit one of them and suddenly all of their ads went down. It was very concerning because ads were a big part of what they were doing, as well as organic, but the ad part was serious. So they got this rectified, cleaned up the subdomains, and got their ads back on. But it's important to understand that can happen. So how can you actually go and find these quickly? So first, I just want to say that there are a number of dev tools that you can jump into that will scan your site and find all the subdomains, and that's really good to do. But what I focused on here today is more from a search perspective. So finding subdomains that Google or Bing know about that may have search visibility, content on there, ranking in the search results, etc. So first is Google Search Console Crawl Stats. So the Crawl Stats reporting is kind of buried in the settings in GSC. It would be great if it was actually its own tab on the left and navigation there, but it's not. So anyway, once you dig in, if you set up a domain property, right, which everybody should have, you shouldn't just have a domain property. You should actually have the URL prefix properties and probably directory set up as well. But the domain property takes into account all subdomains and all protocols, right? So it's important to have. And if you pop into the Crawl Stats report, the first screen you're going to come to are all the subdomains that Google knows about. This can often be alarming for some sites if they're really large and have no idea what's going on with these subdomains. The other thing is you can see the status on the right here. Problems last week, problems in the past. You could really start to dig in. Some of these are not going to be a major problem, where other things you may be like, what is going on there? And you definitely would want to dig in. The next area that the next way that you can dig in, it's just Bing, so it's Bing Webmaster Tools instead of Google Search Console. I know a lot of people forget about Bing Webmaster Tools, but it's really good data. It's from another major search engine, and Site Explorer is really cool, by the way. So again, if you go in to your domain that's set up in Bing Webmaster Tools and go into Site Explorer, you're going to see all the subdomains listed on the left here. For this site, you can see there were quite a few. And then you could obviously drill in and see lots of really cool information based upon the content in those subdomains or subdirectories once you go into a subdomain. Anyway, so you have Google Search Console, Crawl Stats, Bing Webmaster Tools, Site Explorer, great place to start. Then you could leverage third-party tools. So the big three are obviously Semrush, ahrefs, and Sistrix. Each has their own way to find this, subdomains. So if you go to the organic research reporting in Semrush, there's actually a subdomains tab, right? So you can click that and see all the subdomains that are ranking in Google. So again, this isn't going to cover every subdomain on the site, right? But these are ones that actually have search visibility. So users are actually seeing this content in the search results and engaging with it. Definitely important to understand that that's going on, and to check the queries and then the content and see, what's actually up there. In Sistrix, they have the host names reporting, and that's where all the subdomains will be listed. That's on the left side. You can go into host names and you can see all the host names that Sistrix has picked up with search visibility. So same idea as Semrush. Then in ahrefs, you have site structure reporting, which is really cool on multiple levels. But for this, you could actually go ahead and see the various subdomains and the search visibility, referring domains and all sorts of metrics there for them. So again, just another way to kind of dig in and see the subdomains active on your site. Then I covered creative site queries, right? So they're quick, dirty, and versatile. So you could actually do, like I gave an example here, you could do a site query for whatever domain, like google.com, and then, basically do a negative site query for in URL for www, and suddenly you're going to see all the different subdomains that are indexed by Google. So here you could see developers.google.com, support.google.com, a Chrome store, a Chrome web store.google.com, etc. And then if you wanted to, you can keep adding negatives there to really drill down and find what's indexed from a subdomain standpoint. So again, mix this with dev tools that I kind of explained earlier, which scan the site and pull up all the subdomains available for a site. Mix that with search visibility from third-party tools, now site queries, and then the Crawl Stats reporting from Google Search Console, and then Bing Webmaster Tools Site Explorer. Now you're going to get a really good view of all the different subdomains there. And then I just ended with a quick bonus for smaller sites that are worried about this. Really, call your hosting provider. I mean, they're going to really be able to tell you what's going on there, and they could also help you shut down those subdomains if needed. So always a smart thing to do if you don't have a dev team, easily available. So that's pretty much it. So again, just don't get blindsided by your subdomains. I've seen this a number of times over the years, and again, just happened twice recently where the sites had no idea that those subdomains were active. And depending on what's going on there, it could impact you organically or your Google ads as well. So don't let that happen. So that's it. You can find the blog post on gsqi.com. It's my latest, went live this morning. And until the next episode, that's me signing off. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.